Following the tragic deaths of two children in Vredefort in the Free State, apparently over the consumption of food bought at a local spaza shop, the Provincial Department of Economy, Small Business Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs is planning to crack down. It says it's received a high volume of complaints from the public regarding the sale of expired or fake foods, which pose an obvious health risk. Thabo, Meeko, Free State Economy, Small Business Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs, MEC, joins us now. Good evening to you and welcome. It's a terrible tragedy, MEC. What's your message to the community?
Thanks for having me. Indeed, one of the sad stories to happen, especially to the kids of the 4 and 5 years of age. The allegations is that they left the life of the living after their mother bought them some chips from a local tech shop, and then an ambulance was called, and unfortunately, even before its arrival, they had lost their life. The department is highly saddened, and tomorrow the executive in the province is planning to visit both the family as well as the community of Vredefort in Meeko Township.
MEC, it's so important in cases like these, and we've had them in different places across the country, that the investigation gets complete and you can really get to the forensic root of what went wrong. It's not only correct for justice, but also correct for closure for the families. What do we know of what the South African Police's investigation has yielded and what the autopsy reports have yielded?
Well, till this far, a case of inquest has been opened. Now, up until it's concluded, only then we would know what is the cause of death. By now, it is speculations that the death resulted from the consumption of these illicit goods. But we can attest that this is a prevalent case. We did not only get complaints, our own operations of consumer protection services have discovered many of such in the province. I can attest that about 15 of cases are in the laws of our law enforcement, and some of them even at a point of litigation in the court of law. And that's why it is important that the intergovernmental relations needs to be strengthened. Both the department, municipality, as well as our judiciary needs to work together with our people on the ground so that we can decisively deal with these cases, because indeed, now that we're losing life of our people, they've become extremely a cause of concern in our society.
MEC, I'm sorry to belabor the point, but it is important because you led with that. You led with, that the mother bought the chips, the ambulance was called, and that's why these kids died in the absence of having that certainty. So that's one portion of the story that I want to deal with, because it certainly is going to feed into the way that the department, including the health inspectors and others, investigate similar cases. So at this stage, we can't definitively say that it was that particular item from that particular store that led to the demise of these poor young children.
No, certainly. And it's very important that we act in this manner so that we don't unintentionally mobilize people to act in a certain way. All of us have got to operate within the framework of the law. We must await the outcomes of the investigations, the professional outcomes, such that immediately after that determination is made, then a criminal case must be opened. But over and above that, there's got to be other measures. For instance, intergovernmental relations. The courts must also help us to timelessly and speedily deal with these things so that they don't drag, because in the process of dragging, they create perceptions and anger amongst our communities.
Absolutely.
It is our appeal that our people need to respect the rule of law and await the professional outcomes.
Absolutely, but your department does have a particular role to play. You've shared with us that you have received many complaints. What is the role that you play in managing what is provided amongst these SMMEs and verifying whether or not they are selling either expired goods, counterfeit goods, or goods that might contain toxins that pose a health risk?
For instance, at this case, immediately upon receiving briefing, we unleashed our consumer protection officers, and our discovery is that not even a single of the requirements has been adhered to. The area where this tech shop was operating was illegal. The quality of the food inside there, just a preliminary investigation is telling us that they were not subscribing to the health standards. The area, the building, almost everything, so, adhered to both the municipality bylaw as well as the provincial policies with regard to trading of these businesses. So it is a cause of concern. People are complaining all over. We are reacting, but the challenge is that other areas of the state, have got their way of dealing with them, and as a result, these things are not being timelessly resolved.
What do you mean by that?
Look, police have got to do their work in terms of the investigations, and after the police, should the NPA decide to prosecute, they've got their own timelines, and surely the perception that they are taking long, and by the time when a decision has been taken, most of the time it's a decision of a fine. We're told that some of these people also have been protected by the law, that they've got the right to survive as a result, to undertake these businesses and trade without even subscribing to the law.
What I'm really concerned about, MEC, is that the message that you're just sending out is that the people who are guilty are going to get away with it. And that's a big concern. But what I really want to end with, because we're out of time, is how are such establishments even allowed to operate in the first place if on every single bylaw they are failing?
The province is finalizing the process of giving to effect a localization and transformation bill, which we believe that it will be our record, because it deals with issues of not only regulation, but it also deals with issues of the health requirements, as well as issues of the certificate to operate and trade. We think that it will be holistic, but also another area is to strengthen the intergovernmental relations, where we work closely with municipalities as well as the police to understand the context that these are not isolated cases, but there's a prevalence of it, and the manner in which we need to respond must be such that we safeguard the lives of our people as opposed to any other thing.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there, but thank you for coming on and sharing what you know. MEC Thabo Meeko is the Free State Economy, Small Business Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs MEC.